Welcome back to the channel Isma English. Today we have a brand new story, an emotional, inspiring and heartfelt journey that many of you will relate to. If you've ever dreamed of starting a new life, studying in a new place, or discovering who you truly are, then you're going to love this episode. So relax, get comfortable, and let's dive into today's story. Let's begin. Sam was never an ordinary boy. Ever since he was a child, he carried a curiosity bigger than the small neighborhood he grew up in. While other kids played outside without thinking about tomorrow, Sam would sit by his bedroom window and watch the buses passing by, wondering where they were going and what kind of lives people lived in places he had never seen. Travel wasn't just a hobby for him, it was a quiet dream living inside his heart. A dream that made his eyes sparkle every time he saw a map or heard someone talk about another country or another city. From a very young age, Sam showed signs that he was different. He loved learning about the world, and in school he was always one of the top students, not because he was forced to study, but because he truly enjoyed understanding things. His teachers admired him for his openness, his dedication, and his ability to focus even when the classroom was noisy. He asked thoughtful questions, stayed behind after class to learn more, and read books that other kids his age would rarely touch. Knowledge, for him, was a passport to something greater. But Sam wasn't only excellent academically, he was also the kind of person everyone liked. Growing up, he made friends easily. He had this warm, friendly energy that made people feel comfortable around him. He knew how to listen, how to make people laugh, and how to support them when they were going through something difficult. By the time he reached high school, Sam had a big circle of friends, each one appreciating something different about him. Some liked his humor, some liked his honesty, and others loved the way he made them feel seen and understood. Despite all the friendships he had, Sam always felt a small part of him was waiting for something more, something beyond the borders of the town he lived in. Whenever he traveled, even for short family trips, he felt alive walking in new streets, hearing new accents, seeing new landscapes. It all felt like he was meant for that kind of life. His parents noticed his passion early, and though they sometimes worried about how far his dreams could take him, they always supported him. They encouraged him to study hard, explore the world, and become someone who could build a life beyond his comfort zone. As Sam grew older, his dream of discovering new places grew with him. He imagined going to a university far from home, meeting people from different backgrounds, building his own life step by step, and learning not just from books, but from real experiences. He knew deep inside that staying where he was would never satisfy him. He wanted challenges, he wanted change, and he wanted to see who he could become when he stepped into a world much bigger than what he was used to. His friends always joked that Sam would be the first among them to leave the town. They said he was born with a traveler's heart, that his mind was always exploring even when his body wasn't. And they were right. Sam could feel it too. His future was waiting for him somewhere far away, somewhere he hadn't even seen yet. What he didn't know, however, was that the moment he received his university acceptance letter, his life would begin shifting in ways he had only imagined. Everything he had learned, every moment he had dreamed about traveling, every friendship he had built, and every challenge he had faced, all of it was preparing him for a new beginning. A beginning that would test him, shape him, and reveal the person he was always meant to become. On the morning of his departure, Sam stood with his bags packed, looking at his reflection in the hallway mirror. He tried to imagine what he would look like after a year in the new city. Would he be more confident? Would he make new friends easily? He didn't know, but he hoped so. His parents drove him to the bus station, and the road felt shorter than usual. Maybe it was because he kept replaying old memories in his mind, or maybe because he was trying not to show how scared he was. His mother hugged him tightly at the station, and his father placed a hand on his shoulder, telling him to work hard, be patient, and trust himself. Sam carried those words with him as he boarded the bus. The ride felt long, and the landscape slowly changed from quiet fields to busy roads and tall buildings. Sam stared out the window, overwhelmed by how different everything looked. When he finally reached the city, he stepped off the bus and felt the intensity of the new place immediately. Cars honked. People rushed past him, advertisements flashed on giant screens, and the noise felt almost too much to take in at once. The air smelled like a mix of street food, coffee shops, and something unknown that reminded him he was far from home. He took a taxi to the university housing, watching the city rush by as if it had no time to slow down for anyone. But when he reached the residence building, he checked in, received his key, and entered the small room that would become his home for the next year. It was simple: a bed, a desk, a small wardrobe, but clean and bright. He stood by the window for a moment, looking at the unfamiliar skyline. This was the beginning. The next day, he woke up early for orientation. He walked across the campus, feeling small among the crowds of students. Everyone seemed to know where they were going, laughing, talking, or taking pictures, and Sam felt like he was the only one lost. He eventually found the auditorium where hundreds of other students gathered. He sat quietly until someone tapped his shoulder. A cheerful guy with messy hair and a friendly smile said, "Is this seat taken?" Sam shook his head, and the guy sat down, introducing himself as Daniel. They talked a bit before the program started, and Sam immediately felt lighter. He wasn't alone after all. Throughout the day, Sam and Daniel walked around campus together, getting lost more than once. But they also met Mia, who had a camera hanging around her neck, Riley, who talked excitedly about technology, and Layla, who carried a book everywhere. Somehow, they all clicked. That night, when Sam returned to his room, he felt a warmth in his chest. He had made friends on the first day, something he had secretly worried might take months. Classes began the following week. Sam's first lecture was overwhelming. The professor spoke quickly, and Sam struggled to keep up with the slides. Students typed at lightning speed, while Sam barely wrote half the notes. He left the lecture feeling discouraged, wondering if he had made a mistake by choosing such a challenging program. But later, when he met the group in the cafeteria, they shared the same feelings. Mia admitted she didn't understand most of what the professor said. Daniel joked that he understood only the title of the lecture. Knowing he wasn't alone made Sam feel better. The days that followed were a mix of stress and excitement. Sam spent hours exploring the campus, discovering new corners of the library, trying the different food options in the cafeteria, and learning shortcuts between buildings. The university was huge, with students from all over the world. Sam enjoyed listening to different accents and hearing people talk about their goals. It inspired him and reminded him why he came. On weekends, Sam and his friends explored the city. They visited old markets where vendors sold handmade crafts, clothes, and spices. They walked along the river, watching boats pass by and taking photos as the sun set over the skyline. They tried street food stalls, sometimes loving the taste and sometimes regretting their choices immediately. They took late-night walks, talking about their dreams, fears, and the reasons they had all left home. These moments bonded them in ways Sam never expected. But even with all the fun, challenges appeared. Sam struggled with homesickness. Sometimes he missed his mother's cooking so much that he ordered food he didn't even want, just to distract himself. He missed the quiet nights of his hometown, the familiar faces, the comfort of knowing everyone around him. And then came the day he failed his first quiz. Seeing the low grade on his paper crushed him. He felt embarrassed and almost called his parents to say he wasn't good enough for this. Instead, he went to the library where he found Layla studying. She looked at him for a moment, noticing something was wrong. Sam showed her the quiz result. She didn't judge him or laugh. Instead, she told him that one bad grade wasn't the end of the world. She reminded him that he had moved to a new city, started a completely new life, and was doing the best he could. With her help, Sam created a study schedule that made everything feel more manageable. Slowly, Sam improved. He started understanding the lectures better, took more organized notes, and even began helping Daniel with some topics. His confidence grew, and by the end of the semester, he felt more stable, more capable, and more proud of himself. As time passed, the city no longer felt intimidating. Sam started feeling like he belonged. He learned where to get the best coffee, which bus routes were fastest, and where to find quiet places to study. He decorated his room with photos from his adventures and small items that reminded him of home. His friend group grew closer. They celebrated birthdays together, studied for exams until dawn, argued about small things, and supported each other during difficult moments. One night, months after his arrival, Sam found himself standing on the rooftop of the residence building, looking at the glowing city lights. A soft breeze brushed against his face as he thought about everything that had changed. He remembered his fear on the first day, the confusion in the busy streets, the loneliness he felt during quiet nights. But he also remembered the laughter with friends, the small victories in class, the joy of discovering new places, and the way he had grown step by step without even noticing. In that moment, he realized that leaving home wasn't just about studying somewhere else, it was about finding himself. The city had challenged him, pushed him, shaped him, and filled him with memories he would carry forever. He didn't know what the next years would bring, but he knew one thing for sure. He was no longer the boy who had left his hometown. He had become someone stronger, wiser, and more alive. And so Sam walked back to his room with a quiet smile on his face, ready for whatever tomorrow would bring. And now, before we end this video, I want to thank every single one of you for listening all the way to the end. Sam's journey was full of emotions, challenges, growth, new friendships, and unforgettable moments. And together we followed him from the moment he left home all the way to his transformation in the new city. So here is a quick summary for you. We saw Sam leave his hometown with mixed emotions, arrive in a busy city, struggle through his first days at university, meet amazing friends, face moments of homesickness and failure, grow stronger through challenges, and finally find his place in a world that once felt too big for him. Now, let me ask you a few questions to think about and share in the comments. Would you personally move to another city for university like Sam did? Which part of Sam's journey felt the most relatable to you? Do you think homesickness makes people stronger or weaker? What do you believe is the most difficult part of starting university life? If you were in Sam's place, what's the first thing you would do in a brand new city? Thank you again for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you enjoyed it. See you in the next story.